Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today we're going to look at this athlete posted up on the Triathlon Forum asking for help. He said he's stuck at about 2 minutes 100 and doesn't know how to get any faster. He's swimming 3 times a week, 7 to 10,000 total. He's had, he says, a little bit of swim coaching in the past, or he's taken swim coaching in the past, and he does some drills on his own sometimes. He wants to basically just get some advice on his technique, and then, he wants to know how to maintain good technique for 3,800 meters because he feels like it's all breaking down at 1,500. So what we'll do first is we'll just go over his stroke, and then we'll kind of address some of those concerns that he's got and what the issue is. So, when we look here, we'll kind of go forward a little bit and get back to the start. So one of the things that we can see is on this left, watch what happens. So he pulls, see how he starts pulling his elbow up and his head goes down. So, right when he should be at the most propulsive part of the stroke, he buries his head and then he dumps pressure on his hand. So anytime this would go up like that, you're dumping pressure. And it's because the hand is so far outside. Right now he's putting a lot of pressure on the top portion of his shoulder. He's doing something similar on the right side as well. So you can see right there how wide he is on that pull. So for this, we've got, 96. Typically, you'd want to see that between 100 and 110 degrees, but it would be oriented more like this. So kind of like that. And you figure midline is kind of right about there. There's in line with his shoulder. So the leverage is right somewhere in between there. So not crossing midline, not really going much outside the shoulder, maybe in line with the shoulder. But right now, all of the pressure to pull him through the water is going right there. And then he can't even get to the lat because in those big back muscles because he's just too far out of position. So that would be, one of the things that he needs to work on. The other thing would be, as we go through here, you can see, he's turning way onto his side. You can see those feet going way apart. He's got that big scissor kick. And this is in a wetsuit. Wetsuits typically give you a lot more stability. And then, he's looking straight down. So again, he's burying his head. What we want to see would be the chin up just a little bit, which would relax his neck and shoulders. And then this would typically naturally kind of pop up on its own. Because remember, we're looking for that really long, straight body position on the water. With a wetsuit, that should be easy to get. The fact that, he is still struggling with that a little bit, because you can see that gap right there between the top of his butt and the waterline, indicates that he's not got he doesn't have much core engagement. And, his feel for body position in the water isn't great. Because this right here would easily be, 5 to 7 seconds 100 if he got that up and just at the same effort level. So it wouldn't even be an increase in effort. And you can see kind of how low his legs and feet are here with the wetsuit on. So he's having a tough time getting up on the water. So, and then you can see kind of the same thing here again, just a little bit closer this time. But, right here, so this hand, because he's on his side, there's just no leverage out there to grab the water. And then you can see all of these bubbles, is going to make it even more difficult to get any grab on the water. It's going to, prevent his hand from getting a lot of grab on the water. There's not going to be much pressure there. It's going to be tough to get it to really engage. In terms of, what he'd want to do, the reason his technique is breaking down is, look, your fitness or your technique is only as good as the fitness to support it. And if you're swimming 7 to 10,000 a week, 3 times a week for 3,800, I don't care who you are. You can be a former swimmer. It's not your technique's going to break down. You just don't have the fitness to support the technique at the pace you want to go. It's gonna fall apart. So, he just needs to swim more and not necessarily maybe a ton more, but just be more consistent in the water. So, 5 times a week at 2,000 is better than 3 times a week at 10,000. So, yeah, The other thing you'd probably want to do if you can kick with the brick, that's going to hyper engage your core. So you're going to work on that feeling core engaged, connected other muscle group, in this case, the kick, and build the fitness to do it. And you do that over and over again. Other thing would be just his freestyle breathing. You know, it's just a slight movement. Your whole body isn't going with it. It's just a turn to the head to the side. Even if you look forward a little bit, that's going to help out too. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.